You think working 80 hours a week will make you rich? You believe poverty is somehow more holy than prosperity? Let me destroy that lie right now. 40 years ago, I stood in my empty apartment, staring at eviction notices scattered across the floor. 6 figures in debt, bankruptcy papers in one hand, divorce papers in the other. I had worked myself to exhaustion for 15 years straight, and I had nothing to show for it except empty bank accounts and broken relationships. Here is what nobody told me. Effort without strategy is just expensive noise. You can hustle until your body breaks, but if your financial foundation is built on sand, one storm will destroy everything. And that storm always comes. Always. The brutal truth? If your wallet does not align with eternal principles, you are not building wealth. You are building a house of cards that will collapse the moment real pressure hits. I learned this lesson the hard way, and it cost me everything. But today, I am sharing 10 ancient financial protocols from the Bible that transformed my life from bankruptcy to building a 7-figure empire. These are not prosperity gospel fantasies. These are battle-tested strategies that have built dynasties for thousands of years, especially rule number 6, the one specific principle that saved me from debt slavery forever and unlocked financial freedom I never thought possible. Now, before we go any further, I need you to do something. If you are serious about breaking the cycle of financial mediocrity, if you are ready to stop living paycheck to paycheck, hit that subscribe button right now. This is not about motivational fluff. This channel is where we dissect strategic thinking and authentic wealth building. No fake gurus promising overnight millions. Just timeless wisdom applied to modern money. Subscribe now, because what I am about to share will challenge everything you think you know about wealth. Let's begin. Lesson number 1. Purpose before profit. God's blueprint. Most people ask the wrong question from day one. They say, how do I get rich fast? Or what investment will make me the most money? These are amateur questions that lead to amateur results. The professional question is, why do I need money in the first place? What problem am I solving? What legacy am I building? This is not philosophical nonsense. This is the difference between Enron and Amazon, between Theranos and Tesla, between get-rich-quick schemes that implode and generational businesses that last centuries. Proverbs 3 verses 9 and 10 teaches us to honor the Lord with our wealth and with the first fruits of all our produce. Then our barns will be filled with plenty. This is not about religion. This is about understanding that money is a tool, a servant, not a master. When you honor the purpose behind your wealth, prosperity follows as a natural consequence. When profit becomes your only god, you end up worshiping an idol that eventually devours you. Let me give you a real example that every American knows. Remember the cryptocurrency boom of 2017? I watched thousands of people launch worthless tokens, promising investors life-changing returns. They made millions overnight. Lamborghinis, penthouses, private jets. Where are they now? Lawsuits, federal prison, bankruptcy worse than they started with. Why? No purpose. Just greed disguised as innovation. Now compare that to companies like Patagonia or Tom's Shoes. Patagonia built a multi-billion-dollar empire by committing to environmental sustainability. Tom's built their brand on giving shoes to children in poverty. Are they perfect? No. But they started with purpose, and that purpose attracted loyal customers who became brand evangelists. 30 years later, they are still thriving while the crypto scammers are in jail. Here is a stat that will shock you. According to Harvard Business School research, purpose-driven companies outperform the stock market by 350% over 15 years. Why? Because purpose creates resilience. When markets crash, when trends change, when competition gets fierce, companies with purpose keep going. Companies chasing only profit collapse. Your key takeaway: never build a skyscraper without a blueprint for the foundation. Your purpose is that blueprint. Without it, you are gambling, not building. and the house always wins against gamblers. Lesson number 2. The steward mindset. You own nothing. This concept will short-circuit most people's brains, but stay with me because this is where real wealth thinking begins. You do not own anything. Not your house, not your car, not your business, not even your paycheck. You are simply a temporary manager, a CEO running assets for the ultimate chairman, and that chairman is God. Psalm 24 verse 1 makes this crystal clear. The earth is the Lord's and everything in it. You are just a steward for a season. Now, this is not some guilt trip about giving all your money away. This is elite-level strategic thinking. When you realize you are managing someone else's resources, your entire approach changes. You become more careful, more intentional, more strategic. Let me break down the difference between a consumer mindset and a steward mindset, because this distinction alone can transform your financial life. A consumer asks, how much can I spend? What can I afford? Will this impress people? A consumer sees a paycheck as permission to buy things. Consumers finance cars they cannot afford, buy houses that stretch their budget to the breaking point, and wonder why they are always broke despite making good money. A steward asks completely different questions. How can I multiply this? What is the return on investment? How does this asset generate future income? Stewards track every dollar. They optimize expenses. They invest intelligently. They think 10 years ahead, not 10 minutes ahead. Here is your action step, and I want you to do this today. If you cannot manage $10 responsibly, you will never manage $1 million. The principles that govern $10 are the same principles that govern $10 million. Start small. Download a budgeting app. Track every single expense for 30 days. I promise you will be shocked at where your money actually goes. That awareness alone will save you thousands this year. Treat your current income, no matter how small, like a training ground for the empire you want to build, because that is exactly what it is. Lesson number 3. Kill the fear. The risk protocol. Fear is the silent assassin of wealth. It disguises itself as wisdom, caution, and prudence. People say, I am just being careful, when what they really mean is, I am too terrified to move. But here is what the Bible says about fear-based financial decisions in the parable of the talents in Matthew 25. The servant who buried his money in the ground out of fear was called wicked and lazy. Not unlucky, not prudent, wicked and lazy. Think about how harsh that judgment is. The master did not say, well, at least you did not lose it. He called the servant wicked for doing nothing. Why? Because in God's economy, not taking calculated risks is the biggest risk of all. Stagnation is sin. God blesses motion, not paralysis. Every major breakthrough in your life came from doing something uncomfortable. Your first job interview, asking for that promotion, starting that side business, moving to a new city, making your first investment. Comfort is where dreams go to die. Now, I am not telling you to be reckless. There is a massive difference between calculated risk and stupid gambling. Calculated risk means you study the opportunity, you understand the downside, you have a backup plan, and then you move with confidence. Stupid gambling means you throw money at something you do not understand because everyone else is doing it. Here is how Warren Buffett, one of the wealthiest Americans in history, describes his approach. Risk comes from not knowing what you are doing. Study, learn, prepare, then act boldly. I spent 10 years paralyzed by fear after my first bankruptcy. I was so afraid of losing money again that I refused to invest, refused to start another business, refused to take any chances. You know what happened? I stayed broke. Fear protected me from failure, but it also protected me from success. The moment I conquered that fear and started taking calculated risks again, my wealth trajectory completely changed. Lesson number 4. Righteous foundations. the capital of integrity. Let me give you some Machiavellian truth mixed with biblical wisdom. Deception might win you one battle, but integrity wins the entire war. In the age of social media, where every transaction can be reviewed online and every interaction can be recorded, your reputation is your most valuable asset. Lose it, and no amount of money can buy it back. Proverbs 10, verse 9, tells us that whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but he who makes his ways crooked will be found out. Notice it does not say, might be found out. It says, will be found out. Every single time. Look at companies like Apple or Chick-fil-A. They built customer bases so loyal that people will wait in line for hours and pay premium prices. How? Transparency, consistent values, keeping promises. Now compare that to companies caught in fraud scandals. Enron, Theranos, FTX. They made billions through deception, but they all collapsed spectacularly. The founders are in prison. The employees lost everything. The customers lost everything. Dishonest scales are an abomination to the Lord. This ancient principle from Proverbs 11 verse 1 still applies in modern business. Whether you are selling products on Amazon, offering services as a freelancer, or managing client investments, honesty is not just moral, it is massively profitable long-term. According to a 2023 Edelman Trust Barometer study, 81% of consumers say they need to trust a brand before they will buy from it. Trust takes years to build and seconds to destroy. Build your empire on truth, even when lies seem more profitable in the moment. Short-term gains from deception will cost you long-term prosperity every single time. Lesson number 5. Give first. The reverse seed strategy. The world says, get rich first, then maybe give back if you feel generous. The Bible completely flips this script. Give first to activate the flow. This is not charity. This is investment into a different economic system, the kingdom economy, which operates on counterintuitive principles that Wall Street does not understand. When you give strategically, you create circulation. Money that sits still stagnates and loses value. Money that moves, multiplies, and compounds. Think about it like planting seeds. A farmer never eats his entire harvest. He always plants a portion back into the soil, knowing it will produce exponentially more next season. Luke 6:38 promises, give, and it will be given to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, will be put into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured back to you. This is not mystical. This is mathematical. Generosity creates relationships. Relationships create opportunities. Opportunities create wealth. Let me share a personal story. 10 years ago, when I was still recovering from bankruptcy, I met a young entrepreneur who needed $5,000 to launch his business. I did not have much, but I gave him $2,000, not as a loan, as a gift. He never forgot it. 5 years later, he introduced me to a client that generated $300,000 in revenue for my business. That is a 15,000% return on a generous gift. You cannot get those returns in the stock market. Now, I want to pause here. If you believe that generosity opens doors of opportunity, I want you to comment, I choose generosity, or amen below right now. Do not skip this. The algorithm of life works just like YouTube's algorithm. Engagement creates expansion. Your interaction right now is training your subconscious mind to expect abundance instead of scarcity. Do it now. Lesson number 6. Escape slavery, the debt trap. This is the lesson that saved my life. And I am going to spend extra time here because this might be the most important financial decision you ever make. Proverbs 22 verse 7 says it with brutal clarity. The rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender. Read that again. If next month's paycheck already belongs to the bank, you are not financially free. You are a modern-day slave with a nicer cage. According to the Federal Reserve, The average American household carries over $100,000 in debt. Student loans, credit cards, car payments, mortgages that strangle cash flow, medical debt from one hospital visit. This is not freedom. This is financial prison. Here is the harsh reality most financial gurus will not tell you. Debt comes in two categories, and most people drown in the wrong kind. Bad debt funds consumption, cars that depreciate the moment you drive off the lot, clothes you wear twice, subscriptions you forget about, vacations on credit cards. This debt murders your future. Good debt creates assets that generate income, real estate that produces rental cash flow, business loans that fund profitable ventures, education that dramatically increases your earning power. The wealthy strategically use good debt as leverage. The broke suffocate under bad debt. Your priority, starting today, must be eliminating high-interest debt with extreme prejudice. Here is the exact strategy I used: the debt snowball method. List all your debts from smallest to largest. Pay minimum payments on everything except the smallest debt. Attack that smallest debt with every extra dollar you have. Once it is gone, take that entire payment amount and add it to the next smallest debt. The momentum builds. The wins accumulate. The psychology shifts. I spent 15 years drowning in debt slavery. Credit cards maxed out at 29% interest. Car loans, personal loans to cover other loans, payday loans that are basically legal theft. I was paying over $3,000 per month just in interest. $3,000 that could have been invested, saved, or used to build wealth. Instead, I was making banks rich while I stayed poor. The day I finally became completely debt-free was the day my real wealth-building journey began. Suddenly, all that money that was going to interest payments could be redirected to investments. My net worth exploded. Do not wait 40 years like I did. Start today, right now, this moment. Lesson number 7. Emotional discipline. Wisdom over impulse. FOMO, fear of missing out, has destroyed more wealth than any market crash in history. I watched this happen in real time during the GameStop saga of 2021. Thousands of people saw others making money on meme stocks, and they panic bought at the peak without understanding what they were investing in. Most of them lost everything. Proverbs 21 verse 5 teaches that the plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty. Patience is the weapon of the wealthy. Impulsiveness is the suicide of the broke. Here is a principle that will save you tens of thousands of dollars. Never invest in something you do not understand just because the crowd is rushing toward it. Do your research. Understand the fundamentals. Ask yourself this question: would I still invest in this if nobody else knew about it? If there was no hype, would the underlying value still be there? If the answer is no, walk away immediately. The market rewards patience and punishes panic. Warren Buffett built his $80 billion fortune on one simple principle: be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. When everyone is buying, prices are inflated. When everyone is selling in panic, that is when real opportunities appear. I made this mistake during the dot-com bubble of 1999. I threw money at internet stocks I did not understand because everyone else was getting rich. I lost $40,000 when the bubble burst. That was money I needed, money I could not afford to lose. But I learned a lesson worth far more than $40,000. Emotional investing is financial suicide. Train yourself to think independently, not emotionally. Lesson number 8. The Solomon Portfolio. Diversify everything. Ecclesiastes 11 verse 2 gives us ancient portfolio management advice that modern financial advisors charge thousands of dollars to explain. Divide your portion to 7 or even to 8, for you do not know what disaster may happen on earth. This is diversification in its purest, most strategic form. Never depend on a single income stream. Not your salary, not one big client, not one YouTube channel, not one investment, not one business. When that single stream dries up, and it eventually will. Your entire financial structure collapses overnight. According to IRS data, the average millionaire has 7 different income sources. Not 1, not 2, 7. Let me break down what this actually looks like in practice. Stream 1. Your primary job provides stability and covers basic expenses. Stream 2. Your side business provides growth and entrepreneurial experience. Stream 3. Your stock market investments provide passive income through dividends. Stream 4. Your real estate holdings provide monthly rental cash flow. Stream 5. Your intellectual property generates royalties, books, courses, patents, software. Stream 6. Your peer-to-peer lending or crowdfunding investments provide interest income. Stream 7. Your cryptocurrency or alternative investments provide high-risk, high-reward exposure. I learned this the hard way. I once had a consulting business where one major client provided 70% of my revenue. Guess what happened? They got acquired by a larger company. New management. Contract canceled. I almost went bankrupt again because I had no diversification. Now I have 7 different income streams. Some months my real estate performs better. Other months my stock dividends increase. Sometimes my online courses generate huge spikes. But I never panic because the portfolio balances itself. When one stream slows, others compensate. Start building your 7 streams today. Even if each one only generates $500 per month initially, that is $3,500 of diversified income that protects you from catastrophe. Lesson number 9. The Sabbath Advantage. Rest is strategy. This lesson surprises most people because it seems to contradict the hustle culture we worship in America. Work hard, yes. Grind, absolutely. But also rest hard. The Sabbath principle is not about being lazy. It is about sharpening your axe so you can cut faster when you return to work. Think about it. If you spend 8 hours chopping down a tree with a dull axe, you accomplish far less than someone who spends 1 hour sharpening their blade and 7 hours chopping with a sharp tool. Rest is the sharpening. All breakthrough ideas happen during rest, not during hustle. Your brain needs space to process information, connect disparate dots, see opportunities you missed while grinding. The most successful people I know protect their rest time more fiercely than their work time. Science confirms this. According to research from Harvard Medical School, your subconscious mind solves complex problems while you sleep. Your creativity recharges during downtime. Your decision-making improves dramatically after adequate rest. Working 80 hours per week does not make you more productive. It makes you sloppy, reactive, and prone to expensive mistakes. I learned this during my bankruptcy recovery. I was working 16-hour days, 7 days a week, trying to dig myself out of the hole. You know what happened? I made terrible decisions. I missed obvious opportunities. I was too exhausted to think strategically. When I finally forced myself to take 1 full day off per week, my income actually increased. Why? Because I was making smarter decisions with a clear mind. Build rest into your wealth strategy. Take that vacation without guilt. Turn off your phone 1 day per week. Sleep 8 hours. These are not luxuries. These are competitive advantages that separate wealthy people from exhausted people. Lesson number 10. Generational legacy. Dynasty thinking. Proverbs 13 verse 22 says that a good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children. This is not about being rich when you die. This is about what continues growing after you are gone. This is about thinking beyond your lifetime. Here is the question that will determine your financial destiny. Are you building a dynasty or just a moment? Most people chase flashy cars and big houses, assets that depreciate and disappear. Wealthy families build businesses, real estate portfolios, trust funds, and educational foundations that multiply wealth across generations. Your legacy is not the number in your bank account when you take your last breath. Your legacy is the system you create that produces wealth long after you are gone. It is the values about money you instill in your children. It is the businesses you build that employ people for decades. It is the financial education you pass down that breaks poverty cycles forever. Let me give you a powerful example. The Rockefeller family has maintained wealth for 6 generations spanning over 150 years. How? They did not just leave money. They left systems, trusts, family offices, and most importantly, financial education. Each generation learns how to be a steward of wealth before they receive it. Compare that to lottery winners. 70% of lottery winners go bankrupt within 5 years. Why? They received money without receiving the mindset, the systems, or the education to manage it. Money without wisdom is just future poverty with better clothes. Start thinking generationally today. Set up a 529 college savings plan for your kids. Create a family LLC for your real estate holdings. Write down your financial values and wisdom in a document your children can read. Teach your kids about money, investing, and entrepreneurship starting at age 5. These actions might seem small now, but they create dynasties that last centuries. These 10 lessons are your map out of financial mediocrity and into authentic prosperity. But here is the truth. A map is completely useless if you never take the first step. You can keep building your life on sand, chasing trends, living paycheck to paycheck, hoping things magically improve someday. Or you can start digging your foundation on solid rock today, right now, this moment. Here is my final question for you. Will you continue building on sand, or will you start laying your foundation on stone right now? 40 years ago, I had this exact choice. I chose wrong. It cost me 15 years of poverty, a marriage, my health, and almost my life. But when I finally discovered these biblical principles and applied them with ruthless consistency, everything changed. Not overnight, not magically, but steadily, strategically, and permanently. If this video brought you real value, if these principles challenged your thinking and gave you a new framework for wealth, then I need you to do 3 things right now. First, subscribe to this channel. We discuss strategic thinking, authentic wealth building, and timeless wisdom applied to modern money. No fake gurus, no overnight millionaire promises, just battle-tested principles that actually work. Second, share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. Your friend drowning in debt, your family member stuck in financial mediocrity, your coworker who keeps making the same money mistakes. Sharing is caring, and this information could change someone's entire life trajectory. Third, click the next video on your screen. I have created content specifically about breaking free from debt and investing with wisdom that will take you even deeper into these principles. Your financial transformation does not start someday. It starts with your next decision. Make it count.